Jalen Hurts has committed to play in the Senior Bowl, and we got to talk about Alabama versus Oklahoma and all that come up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You got to help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today, I want to talk about Jalen Hurts and his decision to play in the Senior Bowl, which is a showcase for, as you know, seniors who are draft eligible, and all seniors are draft eligible, or guys that we think are going to play in the NFL draft, right? So draft eligible is superfluous when we're talking about dudes that are seniors and or grad transfers. But really, we're talking about pride, right? We're not talking about what Jalen Hurts is going to do when he plays in the NFL. We're talking about what helmet is he going to wear at the Senior Bowl, or where his pro day is going to be held, should he actually go through pro day. I have some thoughts on this. The first one is he graduated from Alabama, all right? He went to Oklahoma on a rental. Would it surprise anybody that he wears a Crimson Tide helmet? I don't think so. And depending on what CeeDee Lamb decides to do, it would be interesting to see him at Oklahoma's pro day in the indoor center at the Everest and find out whether or not he has that connection with CeeDee Lamb that continued, well, even in the Peach Bowl, because CeeDee Lamb actually played well in that game. CeeDee Lamb actually played well in the Baylor game, and we know that they've had a connection going back to last spring, but that connection seemed to be out of necessity rather than natural friendship, but it could be natural. They're both from the Houston area. They both have known about each other for some time. Also underscores the idea of Jerry Jeudy might need somebody to throw him some passes, and is Tua Tagovailoa gonna be healthy enough to throw passes at a pro day in March? We don't know. He looked okay on the podium, but is he in game shape? No. And whether or not he can go through draft prep, he said, is entirely up to doctors, and I believe him on that. But it would behoove him, I think, not to go through any of the physical things that have to do with the draft process. That'd be height, measurement, and then done. No throwing, no running, no nothing until you get drafted and you get this money. Get the bag, son. Secure the bag. Would Jerry Jeudy and his ilk be willing to come to Norman for pro day? I don't think so. I don't think that's how that's going to go. I really don't. However, it would be interesting to see if Jalen Hurts would want to do maybe even both, right? Would he rock both decals? No, don't pull the Scott Frost at the College Football Awards show where you're being honored as Coach of the Year while wearing a Nebraska pin and a UCF pin. Just go with the UCF pin. In the case of Jalen Hurts, I think he should probably wear an Oklahoma helmet at the Senior Bowl because he was invited to the Senior Bowl wearing an Oklahoma jersey. I think that's part of it. It's got nothing to do with pride and everything to do with continuity, right? You're no longer at Alabama. Your last game played was in an Oklahoma jersey. You claim to have a connection to Oklahoma. You won the Red River rivalry. You were a Heisman finalist, not at Alabama, but at Oklahoma. Okay? It makes sense to me. But I can understand why Alabama fans would be like, yo, he needs to wear the Crimson Tide helmet. We're the guys that first gave him a scholarship. He was a true freshman starter at Alabama. He won a national championship at Alabama. It's like, yeah, well, Tua came off the bench and usurped him. So what are you going to have to say about that? It's interesting, if for no other reason than Tua Tagovailoa is also going into this draft. So that means that you could, I don't think it's going to happen. You could have two quarterbacks that played on the same team, both get drafted in the first round, let alone both get drafted. I think that's going to be historic unto itself, right? Two guys that actually started on the same team at the same time getting drafted. But let's not forget, Tua is number 12 on Mel Kiper's board, right? He's going to get drafted in the first round, whether or not that's Miami, Cincinnati, Chargers, whomever. Jalen Hurts, not so much. Jalen Hurts is much more of a scheme fit as opposed to a plug and play. Whatever offense you want to run around Tua Tagovailoa is going to work. But as people were finding out later on in the season, I was right about Jalen Hurts in that, look, he holds on the ball for too long. He's prone to make fumbles. And he's best when he's rolling out and he has the option of running. And he's not that accurate, guys. I've said that repeatedly. Tua was put into the game against Georgia in the national championship because he's a more accurate passer than Jalen Hurts. Bill Belichick and Nick Saban were talking about this on the doc on HBO. I encourage you to watch it. You'll learn more about football, even if you think you know all need to know about football. But Nick was adamant that he didn't just pull Tua out of his behind and say he's going to go into the second half and he's going to win us the game. He said, look, Jalen had a hard time all year trying to hit our skill players. We have these outstanding skill players that need the ball. We need to be able to distribute it to them. He'd missed passes. He'd overthrown dudes that were wide open, including one that could have been a touchdown pass. He said to Brian Dabble, tell Tua he's going in. Tua came in, and they won the game. That's the difference between Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa, and quite frankly, the difference between Tua Tagovailoa, Joe Burrow, and everybody else, and that includes Justin Herbert, even as Justin Herbert still somehow is a first-round draft pick, where I would put Justin Herbert in the same tier of Jalen Hurts. Somebody's going to steal him second, third, fourth round, and they're probably going to play for a little bit in this league, but most people would tell you Tua Tagovailoa is destined for stardom in the NFL. Jalen Hurts is destined to be an offensive coordinator, head coach somewhere. Both of them are going to have awesome careers, but there's a reason why one guy was the starter. There's another reason why that guy usurped him. That's the long and the short of it. As for the semantics for me of what helmet he's going to wear, I'm sure that you care or somebody you know cares, but I don't care. He played at Alabama. He played at Oklahoma. Both will feel fine to me. One will make more sense than the other. I'm okay with both. Just don't put both stickers on because nobody's going to stand for that, myself included. All right, that is it for me. Doses.